What's up, gamers? Sega Man Tony back here with another video. You noticed yesterday I did a pickups video and I told you I'd do a review video. Now, these games I feel the system, I don't give it much love like I give mostly everything else I have, and I need to really give this system love because they have some great games. Some of them are becoming expensive online when you buy them, and they just had some really great games in general, and that would be the PlayStation 2. And I'm going to show you some of my PlayStation 2 collection that I have here. Now, as you well know, back in the day, Neo Geo was the best. They had like the best 2D fighting games, you know, hands down. You know, I mean, my all-time favorite 2D fighting game will always be Mortal Kombat. But during that genre, you know, there were so many different types of fighting games that came out that followed Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. You know, and you know, SNK's answer in Neo Geo to Capcom was their games. And like me, I can't afford a Neo Geo, so I'd rather get what I can afford and comes close to the Neo Geo feel. And the PlayStation 2 did that, you know, and so did the Xbox. The Xbox did that too for some of the games they released for the original OG Xbox. SNK released for them. But today we're going to do the PlayStation because I need to give the PlayStation 2 more love because they have great games that I enjoy. First, we're going to start out here with I got this game at Five and Below. I went up there one time a couple years back and they had a lot of them for $5. And the first one here is SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1. This is a great game on the PlayStation 2. It has all the great games, fighting games that were on the Neo Geo, plus a good shooter that's on here. I highly recommend this for your PlayStation 2 because it had really great games like, you know, Metal Slug. Last Resort is a great shooter and an expensive one, and that's on this collection. So this is very good to own in your PlayStation 2 collection. And I think these days it probably goes for, I guess, maybe still $5. Maybe it went up to a little bit more, like $10 or something. But it's a great game for the PlayStation 2. Another great game for the PlayStation 2. This is I love the Fatal Fury, and this is Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 2, and it has a lot of the Fatal Fury games on it. Real Bout Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, and RB2, the newcomers. This is a great game. You know, like I said, you know, if you wanted to really come close to playing games like you love your the Neo Geo games, PlayStation 2 and Xbox was probably the closest you can come to. I found that game too. I found this game too up there for $5 at Five and Below. This one is from my game exchange. Art of Fighting Anthology is also a great game on the PlayStation 2. It has Art of Fighting 1, 2, and The Path of the Warrior Art of Fighting, and it's a great game, you know. And they got everything right in these too, down to the graphics and the sound chip, and the sounds in that are just like the Neo Geo, just like I used to play it in the arcade when I was younger. I loved it playing that. Another one here, you got another one, Fatal Fury Battle Archives 1. And this has, you know, Fatal Fury 1 and 2, and Fatal Fury Special, and Fatal Fury 3 for the PlayStation 2. I got this at my local exchange. This was $5 there, so that's not bad. Art of Fighting, I just showed you, was around $5 too. It's a great game. Now I heard, I could be wrong, could be this one or the next one I'm going to show you. I got this one at Five and Below for $5 too, and it's the King of Fighters collection, the Ochi Saga, and I heard this actually went up in price, I think. It actually has all the great, King of Fighters 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, and it's great. It's an awesome to add to your fighting collection for your PlayStation 2, and especially with the price, brand new up there for $5, so I wasn't definitely going to pass that up. Another one here is, I don't know if this is the one, but it's the King of Fighters, the King of Fighters XI. I found this up there too for $5 at the 5 and below. I've played it, and it's a great game. I know they made a lot of King of Fighters games, but they're really good, and it's also good to collect for, because I don't think they'll ever really come, where you can't find them. You'll probably be able to find them, but I think some of those games are going up in price. Now this is the King of Fighters 2006 for the PlayStation 2. I get this at my local exchange. It is complete, and I tried this out too. It's different, and it's not bad. 38 incredible SNK characters. So it's not bad, and it's pretty good to play. Another one here is called the Neo Geo Battle Coliseum for the PlayStation 2. This is not bad either. I picked this up for $2.50 at I think it was the flea market a few years back. It was complete, and it's really not bad. It's a pretty decent game. SNK they came up with a lot of really cool games for other systems, so that's not bad. Another good game on the PlayStation 2 is Rampage Total Destruction. I love the Rampage series. I have a lot of the Rampage games, and graphically it was pretty good, and it's humorous and it's fun. It's a fun game, and it's always good to go back and play games like these, As you all know, I like my racing games, and here's one that's on the PlayStation 2. I also have a version. It's not the same version, but it's a different version. It's Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast for the PlayStation 2. It's a great arcadey game. It's pretty awesome. It's a little humorous, but Outrun is, one of Sega's gems, and it's a fun game. It was fun playing this in the arcade when I was younger, and I just love the series. I have all the mostly all the Outruns, and it's really good. Another game I picked up here is Neo Geo. I mean, not Neo Geo. I'm sorry. It's Neo Contra for the PlayStation 2. It's a great game. I've played it, and it's real. What I like about this Contra is this shooter Contra is that it's really different, like a sci-fi-ish run and gun shooter, and the graphics on this was pretty incredible and pretty impressive. And there's look like a lot of ingenuity and creativity went into this game, and it's a great game to own for your PlayStation 2. Here's another one here. It was $5. It's a really weird pinball game. I love pinball games, and it's Ultimate Pinball, Flipic, and it's really weird. It has like all these different types of boards you can play, and I sat down and played this for a while, and I was just by the scenery of where your pinball goes and stuff. It's a really awesome game. Another game I got here too for the PlayStation 2 is this is another one called Contra Shattered Soldier for the PlayStation 2. I tried this out. It's actually a pretty good, decent game, and the graphics for these Contra games were incredible. Even on the old Sega Genesis and the Nintendo's the Super NES, they were great. But they always had like these really cool monsters you had to kill and stuff, and graphically it was done pretty well. A pretty cool shooter on the PlayStation 2, and I think people should own, is Time Crisis. This is Time Crisis 2. I picked this up at Half Price Books for $2.50. It is complete, and it's a great shooter. It's kind of, I don't know if it's kind of, I wouldn't say a knockoff of Virtual Cop, but I think it's kind of in that genre. That's a pretty good game. One thing that I do like about the PlayStation 2 that the Xbox didn't really make a lot of is shooters, and this is a great shooter. It's by Working Designs, and Working Designs Ultra Series has, I like this because it has the foil. It's a Split Heat, The Lost Planet, and I got this at a flea market from a lady, and it is complete. And she only charged me like $3 for this, and it's a great shooter. Split Heat is an awesome. It has great graphics, and I really recommend it, guys, if you don't have it already. And I also have Split Heat, which I believe started out on Sega CD. I have that on Sega CD too, complete, and it's an awesome game. Another one that everybody's familiar with is Raiden, and this is Raiden 3, the Legendary Shooter Returns for the PlayStation 2. This is another great shooter. I don't have the book. I might get another copy, but I also have inside here, which is for the PlayStation 1, is Raiden Project inside there. So I put like in a 2-disc thing to keep it in there because I didn't have the cover for it. So that's another great game that's on the regular PlayStation. One of my all-time favorites and it's from Sega, and it's on the PlayStation 2, is Shinobi. Shinobi's a great game. It's a great ninja game, and I always liked the Shinobi series. I mean, Ninja Gaiden is cool, but if I was to pick one, it would be Shinobi. Shinobi, I think, is, to me, old school. I think is a little better than Ninja Gaiden. Some people might not agree, but that's what I think. There also was another one called, I don't have the cover for it. If you can see it, it was called Nightshade. I don't know if it was a part 2 to Shinobi, but that's another great game that I found too. Maybe I'll find a case for it later, but I also enjoyed that. Another great game on PlayStation 2 is the Sega Genesis Collection, and it has a lot of all the old school games on there. Sonic, Virtual Fighter, Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi. That's actually a really good game, and I have that complete on the Sega Genesis. But if you can't find these games out in the wild and find that some of them are too expensive, the best thing to do is to find them on the PlayStation 2. And I think there's, on the PlayStation 2, they had them on there, and it's probably a lot cheaper to get. I believe I paid about $7 for that game. Another great shooter on the PlayStation 2 is R-Type Final. This is a great shooter. I think it's went up in price, but I found this again at the flea market for around I think it was around $5, and it is complete, and it's a great shooter for the PlayStation 2. Now I found this one here, Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. I found this too at the flea market for $2. The kid was selling it there, and yeah, it's pretty good. I tried it a few times, and it is complete. And it's actually a great game. It's probably better than the Street Fighter that's out now. At least this is complete, and done and finished. And there's a verse mode, and next one here, this is a great shooting genre series. It is Gradius 3 and 4, I think. I said that right. This is a great shooter to pick up for your PlayStation 2. I wouldn't say it is hard to find or anything. I don't know if it might have went up in price a little bit, but it's great to add to your PlayStation 2 collection. Just 2 more games here because this video is going a little over. This is Sega Classic Collection for the PlayStation 2. And what they did is actually they made the graphics, different for the games, like more like a 3D type sorta. They are remastered, and it has all some of the greats on there, like Virtual Racing, Outrun, and Fantasy Zone. This is really great title to own if you can find it. I don't know if it's went up in price or anything, but if you love Sega like I do, this is a great game to own on your PlayStation 2. I highly recommend this. Okay, last game. In the arcade on a Neo Geo, this was my all-time favorite fighting game, 2D fighting game for the Neo Geo. And it is World Heroes. And this is World Heroes Anthology. This is another game I found at Five and Below for $5. My favorite is World Heroes 1. That's always going to be my favorite. I mean, it's on point. Sound-wise, graphically, you would swear you were playing the Neo Geo. That's how good it is on the PlayStation 2. And World Heroes 2 is pretty good. Then you got Jet, and then World Heroes Perfect. Those games are pretty good, but I still always go back to playing the first one, which is my favorite, and then the second one, which is my second favorite. But my first one will always be the original World Heroes, and I always go back and play World Heroes because it was my favorite. Me and this kid used to play for hours, beating each other constantly, But it's great to add to your collection. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do is show you and give the PlayStation 2 some love. I mean, it's a great system to collect for. A lot of games right now are cheap to get, Some of them are. Some of them are very expensive, but some of them you can get, complete for about $5 or more. But it's a great system, and they had really, really good games. So that's going to end this video. Probably be back with another video soon. Probably a pickups video, maybe later on. But keep gaming, guys, and good night. Sega Man Tony out.